Hi and welcome to Valentine's edition of Cheese Club. Today I'm going to cook cacio e pepe angel hair pasta. So without further ado, let's get on and make our pasta from scratch. Now in the booklet, we will advise that you cook pasta pre-made, but I'll teach you from scratch how to make the pasta dough, roll it out and get the perfect angel hair pasta. So to start us off, we need 1 KitchenAid, flour, we need egg yolks, we need a touch of saffron water, and a little touch of olive oil and a pinch of salt. So into the KitchenAid, in with our pasta flour. Now I'm going to do this by eye, but if you want a specific recipe, I would advise 500 grams of pasta flour, 6 eggs and 4 egg yolks, 10 ml of saffron water, 10 ml of olive oil and a pinch of salt. Because I've been doing this for a few years now, I'm going to do this by eye. And I'm going to use pure egg yolks because I want to make it a lot richer than it usually is to give that vibrant yellow colour and a nice flavour to it. So in with my saffron water, just a little pinch, and then a little touch of table salt. So we're looking just to bring this together slightly, much in the way you would with a crumble. So we just take our time at the start. It will start to come together, and once it gets to the point where the dough's at a crumble stage, slow it down and the pastry will start to form one ball. Once it gets to that, stop, don't do anything else, bring it out, and we'll knead it slightly on the bench, cling film it, pop it in the fridge for half an hour so it can rest. So now that my dough is starting to come together, I'm going to switch it off, pop it onto the bench, and we'll start to knead away slightly. So as you can see in the bowl, it's starting to come together ever so slightly, but I'll really want to work it into one whole piece of dough before it goes into the fridge. So out onto the bench. We'll start to bring that all together into one big bit of dough. I'm kneading this just to make sure it's all evenly worked together and we have no extra bits of flour or any dry parts or any really wet parts or uneven saffron water throughout it. So bring all that together as quick as you can. Now that that's started to come together, we're going to cling film it up, pop it in the fridge for half an hour so it can get nice and relaxed. So into the fridge we go. So now that that's been resting for 30 minutes, we're going to bring it out and we're going to roll it through the pasta machine. So traditionally, I would use a handheld pasta machine, take my nice time, take it nice and slow, get it all worked out nice and even, but we're going to cheat. We're going to go the quick way and we're going to add the attachment to the mixer and it's going to fire through super quick, so it's an easy peasy task. We have our pasta dough and to the KitchenAid, we're going to attach our pasta attachment, which is going to roll it out in super quick time. So we're going to dust this with a little bit of flour and then we're going to start shaping it out slightly and we're going to run it through the pasta machine. Some people use a pin, I'll get it nice and even pretty easily. So pasta machine on, not too fast because we're going in with the initial bit. We don't want to break the pasta down too much. Take your time. You will see that it might be a little bit holy at first because the pasta's only rested for half an hour. If you rest it for a good day, it will be nice and firm, but easy to work with. Because we're doing this nice and quick, we're going to have a little bit of bubbling at the start, then we'll reshape. So we'll fold over, another little touch of flour. We're just starting to dry that out slightly, but not too much. If you were filling a fresh pasta, you wouldn't make it as dry, you'd keep it nice and wet so you can work with it. But because we're doing a pasta that has no filling, it's just spaghetti, angel hair, pappardelle, it doesn't need to be as wet, it can be nice and dry. We're going to turn the speed up a touch because we've started the process off relatively well. Okay, so now we're going to go down in increments. Okay, so on the side of the pasta machine, it comes down in numbers from 1 to 10. So we start at 1, pass it through twice, then we'll go down to 2, to 3, to 4, so on and so forth. So we're going to add another little dusting of flour to this, just because it's a little bit sticky. Okay, that's as thin as we want to go. We're going to dust with a little semolina flour, just so it doesn't all stick together. We'll fold it over, and then we're going to add our attachment for our angel hair to the machine. So I'll lift this off. We'll put our next attachment on. So now that we've got that attachment on, we're going to cut the pasta. Through the pasta machine we go, and we have this beautiful angel hair pasta. Touch of semolina flour, just so it doesn't stick. Then go again with the next batch. I first started cooking food like this probably about 10 or 12 years ago. I was really inquisitive as to how to make pasta. I actually got into trouble because I was working in a restaurant in the north of Ireland. My head chef liked to be a bit of adventurous with food sometimes, and one of the times he disappeared out of the kitchen, and I thought I would make myself a little special and try and teach myself how to make pasta. He came in a couple of hours later, gave me a bit of a kicking up the backside, and from that point onwards I was determined to learn how to make pasta because he wouldn't show me at that point. And from then onwards I was always striving to learn new things with regards to pasta and Italian cooking. So now that we've made our pasta, what we're going to do is we are going to put a pot on the rolling boil, loads of salt inside it, and then we'll blanch the pasta off and we'll make the sauce. It's a 2-minute number. We can do it relatively quickly, and I think it's probably one of the easiest pasta dishes we do, and I think it's perfect for Valentine's Day, especially showcasing the BERKSWELL cheese and a little bit of romance. So now that we've cleaned down, we've got our pot ready to come to the boil. We've got our beautiful BERKSWELL cheese. We have our angel hair pasta, some garlic, some oil, a microplane, a touch of butter, salt and pepper, and that's it. So we've got this beautiful BERKSWELL cheese, made in England, vegetarian rennet. Smells like pepperoni pizza. I know back in one of our previous videos with STEM, we talked about pairing class wine with kind of almost food that you'd have day to day, pizza being one of them. This is a prime example of a cheese that is very simplistic, has a great smell, tastes like pepperoni pizza. So now that our water has come to the boil, we've got our pan on the stove with a little touch of oil in it. It's on a medium heat. We're going to grate very finely some garlic into it, just a little touch, just to get that flavour into the oil. Not very much, just a little touch. Okay, pasta into the water. This won't take long, a minute, maybe a touch longer. In with our pasta. Okay, our garlic is starting to saute a little touch in the oil. You're just getting a little tiny bit of flavour out of this, but the hotter the oil gets, the more flavour will extract. You don't want it too hot because it will burn, so just over medium is probably correct. So you can see it's starting to sizzle slightly. It doesn't take very long at all. So we're going to add a little nubbin of butter. Okay, so pasta's coming along nicely. Garlic's in the pan, butter's foaming nicely. I've just turned it down a little touch, and what we're going to do is just lift our pasta out of the pot into the foamy butter and oil and garlic. Add a touch of pasta water because it has all the starch in it. So what we're going to do is a little touch more water. We're going to start to bring that together so it emulsifies. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a very good pinch of black pepper. Almost too much is perfect. So we'll get that mixed around in there. And then what we'll do is we'll have our BERKSWELL cheese, and we're just going to start to grate that in. As much as you want, the more the better. I prefer about 20 to 30 grams inside it. It doesn't sound like much, but once you grated it down, it's absolutely millions. So we'll continue to grate, and then we're going to give it a good mix together. We're going to take it off the heat, starting to emulsify together. I'm not quite happy with how much cheese I have in it, so I'm going to add even more. More cheese, even more cheese. What we're going to do is give it a little sugar together. Now it's coming together nicely, it's a bit too tight, so we're going to add another little touch of water. And that's going to give us our emulsification between the butter, the pasta, the cheese. And just keep that moving. So now that that's starting to come together, we're going to add a little pinch of salt, just to season. Okay, so now that that's came together and we've seasoned it up, what we're going to do is we're going to twist it around our tongs, and then we're going to start putting it inside our plate. So it doesn't look like a lot. It's a very rich dish, very, very, very rich, and you only need a little bit each. Okay, so in with the pasta. And then to finish off, we're going to top off with another little touch of fresh BERKSWELL cheese over the top. We have our CACIO PEPE angel hair pasta with BERKSWELL cheese and black pepper. I hope you enjoy.